Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the United League Championship. We've just had an incredible end to a race in Tier 2, and that was due to the rain, and now we've got more rain now in Tier 1. So, interesting stuff. We've only got 14 drivers, which is a little bit worrying. Hopefully people join during qualifying, but I'm sure that we can still see a good battle between these guys, but it's a little bit of a shame to be low on numbers at the moment. But anyway, it's round 7. We're at Singapore. This is Tier 1 now. And joining me today is Matt, as usual.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Yep, welcome back. It's good to be here once more at an oddly wet Singapore, I should say, but in recent times, obviously. Well, we saw rain in the real life Grand Prix last year. Hopefully, we don't see the same sort of start as we saw at the real life Grand Prix last year. But yeah, it's interesting. This will probably shake it up a lot because I don't think many people expect it to rain around here. So that'll probably reduce their practice hours.
Yeah. And obviously it makes it even tougher, which is already a tough track. Even harder in the wet. So as I was saying in the Tier 2 stream, this is the first time that ULC has been to a street circuit, and obviously the first time therefore that we've been to Singapore. So a new challenge for the drivers. Obviously they would have done plenty of it in their own leagues, but something a little bit different for this league. And if you're wondering why I introduced instead of Matt, we've got to do a bit of a change around this week. Since we've changed over to Twitch, unfortunately there's been a bit of problems. So it's me in control of the cameras today, so it's a little bit different from what it's been in the past. But yeah, no major changes apart from that. Everything will be the same. So now I suppose we're just waiting for people to set some times. I think most people are just about to start their laps now. And Finn is one of the last ones out. I think RG Matiz will go on board with him, obviously. And Matt, would you like to talk us through a lap of Singapore in the rain?
So yeah, braking actually very close to the point you do the 100-meter board there in the dry. So you come through turn 1, 2 and 3, make sure you don't corner cut through turn 1 or turn 2 and try and use all that curb through turn 2 to widen up the exit on towards turn 4. You can see just about clipping that apex there, running very, very close to the wall on the exit. You can see RG Matiz fighting that car as much as he possibly can as he comes now down this long, well, I would call it a straight, but obviously there is that huge kink in the middle. Brakes just about 125 meters from the next corner there and brakes them once again at the black box. One of these circuits where the black boxes you'll find around the track are really, really ideal for the braking points there, as you can see coming through the next couple of corners as well. That RG Matiz, that is certainly a skid for the kid there as he comes through in towards the old infamous Singapore sling here. Not so much of a chicane now, as he just tries to make sure that he attacks that. Overall, it's looking like a very, very good lap from him attacking the curves as he now comes. Bridge there gives him a bit of a wider run in towards the hairpin there. He's going to be able to just about hook up that apex, make sure he don't run wide over that white line on the exit there, as it will actually slow the car down for some reason. But now down this long back straight here, brake it just around the 100-meter board there as he comes now down in towards sector 3, and this is a notorious section. Obviously just 90-degree corner at 90-degree corner, dives into the first one there. Very tricky braking point there, as obviously the car is all moving around. You can see the first times coming up on the board beeper or midget up into pole position here through the infamous PK crash zone, as well as a couple of other drivers obviously as he goes under that grandstand section. The final couple of 90-degree corners here as he navigates his way through this final chicane here, and I must say it's been a very, very hooked up lap from RG Matiz here. We got the amazement out actually as well. We'll focus on that in just a second there, but through the final corner, Matiz opposite lock all the way through. And it's only P2. He goes 1,000th slower.
Oh, not again.
Feisty Ted there. That must be heartbreaking for him. But amazement. I'm trying to work out where he's been there. Unfortunately, the angles I think was that final sector. They're down the long back. Well, I say the long back straight. But he is out of the session there with no.
Oh, I think we're having some party problems again, unfortunately. We had this a few weeks back. I think we're having the same thing now. For them to try and get back. Yeah, obviously Amazement, he was basically just about to say that Amazement has gone into the wall without setting a time. So that's going to be last on the grid for Joe. But fortunately, sorry for him, is only 14th today due to missing other people. The Flying Finn has just gone into third with a 1:55.4. And yeah, that gap at the front, 1/1000th of a second. We saw in Tier 2 Jason beating Thomas by 1/1000th twice in the first run and then repeated it in the second. Obviously, SRL to see it work now for SRL, gaining by 1/1000th. And also, as I said, Flying Finn in third ahead of his teammate Sarah Hamilton, who's filling in for STS F1 Alonso, who can't make it today. But yeah, let me quickly try and work out how if we can get Matt back quickly.
I am here again.
He's here.
I saw cars flying around, so well, it was like Harry Potter, but I'm sure that was most likely an issue of mine. It was a good job I wasn't streaming tonight. It just so appears. But yeah, as you were saying, I just got back as you were talking about obviously AOR and SRL, obviously with their very, very tight qualifying battles, and always funny the way that obviously it just gets so tight. You see the gap between third and fourth is very, very close as well, and the gap between seventh and eighth, well, 8,000ths there as well. So it just goes to show, a lot of people seem to think even the guys lower down the field, they're just everyone in here is just so quick, and thousandths of a second of what makes the difference in these qualifying sessions. So you can quite clearly see, as well, even as sometimes like we saw Spa last week, where we saw that titanic 5-car battle towards the end of the race. Those thousandths of a second can really have a big effect in races. Yeah,
and I'm sure that we will see times improving on this. I think the conditions are not improving much, but I think they will be a little bit better going into these last few minutes of the session. But yeah, as Flying Finn does put it on pole by 0.8 of a second now. So yeah, the track is definitely improving. I think we can ascertain that from there. Looking at the chat, we've got STS F1 Alonso in the chat. Obviously not able to race, and I think he's really disappointed by it. His internet is down. Singapore, one of his favourite tracks, if not his, I think it is his favourite actually. And he's obviously even more displeased because it's raining, which he obviously likes. So yes, I think he could have been in contention for his first ULC victory, but unfortunately he's going to be watching today and cheering on his brother and Cyril Hamilton for STS. Who have we got? Where is Matiz? Matiz is just about to start a lap now. We've got 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Expect to see some big improvements now. I think that these drivers will do a couple of laps to the end of the session now. What kind of times do you reckon we could get down to? I'm trying to think of how much they're improving.
I reckon we could see potentially, obviously it depends how dry it does get, and I think if Flying Finn goes for 2 more runs, I reckon we could see him get very close. Potentially just breaking into the 52s maybe for the real top time. So I think everyone will probably go quicker if they can get those second laps in. I reckon most people will be able to jump and get between at least Feisty Ted and the Flying Finn. That's obviously if they don't improve again, but I feel that they probably all will.
Oh, and we've just got Jork94 going into, and he's only just managed to go into that second position, but he's got another shot at, he can do 2 more laps still. He's still just about got time. Finn crosses the line. Oh, that was obviously a warm down lap or something, because he hasn't improved, which we would expect to see.
Just getting himself geared up again. He's going to need a titanic lap here. Well, he's going to need a 1:52 if he wants to be able to get 2 more runs out of his car.
Yeah, because it's going to be close.
Very
crossing
tight.
The line. So yeah, he's got to be quick in terms of setting a good lap and getting another run. Because where's Matiz? I think Matiz. Yeah, Matiz. If Finn doesn't make it before the checkered flag, Matiz will have better track position, which could be a big advantage for him. And we still haven't seen a time from Trumparumpa in 14th. So we've only got 12 cars to set times so far. And
one thing I have just been having a look through is the next car up the road from the Flying Finn is actually Langman. So obviously if this track is drying out as much as it is, potentially, unless obviously the Flying Finn can get around in time, Langman, he might be the car to watch here. He appears to be the last car. He's about 2-3 seconds up the road from the Flying Finn here, so obviously he's having to really push on this lap, but he might just be able to sneak another one in.
That is really... He's timed that to perfection, hasn't he? On his outlap as well, so he should have good tyres. So yeah, that's really good for Langman. He's in a good position to take advantage of it. Finn still holds a big gap at the front. Matthias was almost half a second off, and Leopard has actually gone into third, so that's a good result for him as well. I think we could see a really mixed up grid here, but here we go. Finn, he's not going to make it, is he? Still only 5 seconds to go, and he's not.
It's going to be tight for Langman as well, actually. Is he going to do it? No, oh yes he does.
Yes, he has.
Has he? Yeah,
oh,
I think
Finn
he
only
has
just improves. Finn barely improved.
Finn does go a tiny bit quicker, so maybe my 1 minute 52s were, well, highly optimistic here. But yeah, I think Langman's going to be the person we watch here. Where is he going to be able to go in this session if this track is still drying out?
Yeah, but obviously it's not getting that much better. You can get to the point where it's actually a little bit too dry for the intermediates and they start overheating and then you lose grip that way. But, Langman was retired, so...
he dinked the wall, so... Has he dinked the wall? He dinked the wall, his front wing went, and I think it's just grown back again. So he might be a little bit gutted with that, because it grew back down the next straight. So, we've hyped Langman up all the way around his outlap.
What is going... This is really close. We've got the top three within half a tenth of a second. Feisty Ted and Cyril Hamilton have gone so close to each other, but they haven't been quite able to topple Finn. Reynolds has gone ahead of Matthias as well.
Final corner.
Is this a good...
What's he going to do?
Yes, he's done it.
Oh, there we are.
Jork,
what
about Jork for track position? He set a good lap earlier in the session. Jork, not usually a qualifier. He's a very good racer, but not usually brilliant in qualifying. But I think in these kind of scenarios, he's got a calm head on him to be able to perform when going gets tough. So I think we could see a good result here from Jork. Obviously, we've seen pretty good results from a few other drivers who usually aren't quite up at the top. Here he comes into the final corner. He's quite a long way after the last car. We've got ESR Simon to come as well, actually. Where's he gone? He's just gone 7th. Oh, and Jork's crashed. So that probably wasn't a good lap for him. Now he's only gone 8th. So that's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I think, just as you said, he's got a very cool head. He appeared to run very, very deep as he went under the stadium there. So maybe we've jinxed it. Sorry, the stadium, the grandstand even. I've been doing too much Mexico comms. But there we are then, the final order. RG Matiz is on pole there ahead of the Flying Finn. The top four separated by just 1/10 of a second there. Both AOR drivers there. EVR Reynolds 5th, Leopard Indias, Simon 7th, Chalk 8th, Monkey Face plays 9th, Langman 10th, Midget 11th, Sturm 12th, Trumper 13th, and Amazement, who didn't set a time, is starting from P14 on the grid.
Yeah, and in terms of AOR, sorry, they're one that doesn't have a second driver today. Obviously, a lot of people are missing their second driver. But AOR are crucially missing their second driver because they've got, obviously, Matiz, but they haven't got another guy, have they, in second? It would usually be Evo or JD, Zero Limitless, but he's not here. So, yeah, that's going to be really important that Matiz does well today, isn't it, for AOR, if they want to keep any hope of keeping up with STS.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, obviously. Matiz has just got to win this really if they want to stand any chance, and he's got to hope that Hamilton and Finn both don't finish on the podium, and therefore it'll guarantee that he brings against them all. It is dry for the start though, obviously, with it being a night. We're going to struggle to see the clouds if it's going to be dry throughout, but I'd imagine so. Yeah,
the rain kind of came out of nowhere in Tier 2. We weren't, as commentators, we weren't sure it was coming, but there was formation lap in Tier 2. But I think Tier 1 have lobbied to get it turned off, and they have. We're ready for the start of the race. We have 5 lights. It is RG Matiz on pole. Lights out, and away we go. Looks like a pretty even start between our two protagonists on the front row. And yeah, it is RG Matiz keeping the lead with Flying Finn slotting into second position. Feisty Ted in third. Oh, we've got a Force India going round. That is Reynolds, who had a pretty good qualifying there for the F1 League in the Force India, but he's not converted it into a good start. He's right at the back now. We've got Sarah Hamilton in 4th, ESR Simon in 5th. I think he's made up a few places. Has ESR Simon. Then it's Leopard in 6th, Jork in 7th, Langman, Midget, Trumper, The Amazement, and Monkey Face plays. So down the field that you've seen, Matt, of interest at the start?
You were right in saying Simon did make up a couple of positions there. He has moved up 2 places, so he's jumped both Force Indias off that start, so very good for him. Jork, Langman, Midget, Trump Run for Amazement all up place as well as Monkey Face plays. Sturm and Reynolds all have dropped right back down the field. Just trying to have a look actually. I don't think Reynolds has got damage. I don't think any of them have actually got damage there, so they've kept that somewhat clean on the whole.
Langman's losing some places as well. What's he got? Oh, he's got damage. Langman's got damage. Something's happened to him, and now he's going to get more damage because he's just driven straight into the wall. I saw that coming from so far back, it wasn't even a shock. He just broke way too late there, obviously out of frustration. But yeah, you're right. Apart from him, I don't think there's any other damage. Reynolds spun, but managed to avoid the wall, crucially. So he's not out of it. With only 13 drivers, points down to 10th, he's still in contention for a good haul there. We've got some man, isn't it, actually? Waiting for him. Good start from Matiz, though. He's got 8/10 of a second on Finn. Yeah, then Ted keeping up with Finn in these early stages. So, but yeah, good start for Matiz, isn't it? He's put himself in a good position now for the rest of the race.
Yeah, he's certainly, obviously. Strategy will come into a bit as well. It should, unless obviously I was going to say unless obviously you're like Langman, you may have to make the 2-stop, but I don't think he's going to be walking back to the pits this evening. But yeah, it should be a 1-stop for just about everyone unless they get caught up and lose a bit of front wing. It's a tight one. I think the ultra soft to super softs is just about doable, but it's a case of do you risk going for the undercut and obviously gaining that time in the first place are really struggling towards the end of this race, or do you just try and keep it out a couple laps longer and hope obviously your tyres stay in better shape to the very end? It's going to be a race of two halves, I feel, right at the very start and then right at the very end.
Yeah, and in the mix, we saw most of the front runners seem to go ultra soft, but we did see a few people staying out a little bit longer, losing time, quite a big chunk of time as well, staying out, but then being on super softs and gaining it back. But personally, I think that ultra soft seemed to work a little bit better for those guys. In terms of this race, we've actually got quite a number of people on super softs. We've got the top 4 on ultra softs, and as Finn almost lost it there after clipping the wall. But then the other guys behind are on the super softs. We've got most of the field on the super softs, which makes things a little bit interesting. But yeah, those front guys are on the ultra softs, so they'll be the first of the pitters. And it'll be interesting to see where they come out, whether they're in traffic and such like. DRS is enabled, but Finn is outside, or you might just be inside of it actually.
Interestingly enough, well, I'm unfortunately going to have to do this quickly, but going back to qualifying there, I've just seen Amazement's incident. He hit the wall at about 5 miles an hour, and what we can say about that, but yeah, that was why he didn't set a lap time in quali. That's why he seemed to have a very odd crash. I thought when I watched that, it seems like a bit of an odd place to bin it. At the angle he did, so there we are. Sorry, Matiz. His car, yeah, is, well, made of rubber bands, I feel.
Yeah. That's such a shame, but thankfully he's made up for it with a solid start up into 10th place. Still, as we know, a long race around here, so plenty of time to make up positions. I'm sure that a few people will make mistakes as well, so pretty much anyone is still in with a shout of getting a good result here. We'll really see later on in the race when things heat up and people start ploughing it into the wall, basically. But,
well, hopefully we don't see too much of that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not saying like the whole field, but the odd one or two we will expect to fall foul of the challenge of Singapore.
Trumper and Midget, very close at the moment. I think they're both struggling to keep connected to each other, unless it's just on my end. So that could be very interesting over the next couple of laps. But yeah, as you said though, once again, like we saw at Spa, for teams like BPRL, this is a huge opportunity to score points once again. I spoke to Midget after the race last week because we sort of hyped him up at the start. He was running as high as like 6th place at one point, and then sort of just fell back in the second half of the race. Unfortunately, he did get held up in a bit of traffic that race and got involved in battles that he really didn't want to find himself in, which meant he had to 2-stop back at Spa. But once again, he's been given another lifeline, and I don't want to jinx it for him, but he could potentially score points.
Yeah, it's obviously been a real struggle, hasn't it, for BPRL this season? But yeah, this is a really good opportunity for them to get a good result. Probably I mean, it was a good opportunity in Hungary and they took it, didn't they? So equally here. This drive night is played to BPR. I know that they've struggled a little bit to get the 2 drivers out, but they've really put a lot of effort into it, and it'd be nice to see them rewarded for their strong commitment to getting a full driver lineup out, which other leagues seem to have failed to do, unfortunately. What have we got?
Yeah, it's a shame seeing so many one-man teams.
Yeah, and I'm really surprised by AOR as well. Obviously, I'm not having a go at the league, so it makes it seem like I'm having a go at them. But obviously, some leagues may not have tried all they could, but I know that some leagues really will have tried everything they can to get out 2 drivers, and it just hasn't worked out, unfortunately, which is a shame. And it really gives a good opportunity for STS. And in the chat, we've got STS F1 Alonso saying he's confident that the Flying Finn can take this victory. He says towards the end of the stint, the start on Matiz. Matiz is just ever so slightly pulling away. That gap's just creeping up, but not anything major. And still plenty of time for Finn to respond. We've got a yellow out there. What is that for? Oh!
I think that's Trumper the wrong way around.
And Trumper
and
out.
he's had enough then. Yeah, that's... Odd place to bin it, I think. Yeah, he must have clipped the wall on the outside and then dropped it on the way through, unless it was contact with someone else. But yeah, we're down to 12. We started with 40, well, we meant to start with 20. We're down to just 12 survivors so far as Singapore. At the rate this is going, if we're losing 2 every 5 laps, we're going to finish with 2 at the end of this race, which it'll be a spectacle, I think. If it was Flying Finn versus Matiz with 1 lap to go, that'd be quite interesting.
I would be surprised if that was the case. I hope it's not. But yeah, it is tough round here, and I'm surprised that Trumper didn't continue, really, because he didn't lose a wheel. He was able to continue. I still think that there's good points for basically anyone out there who gets to the finish with a few people missing for this one. In terms of close drivers, I think Leopard is the closest to the car in front. Him and Simon, and they've both got time penalties now. Leopard got one right at the start, and Simon has just picked up one as well. These guys in a close battle at the moment. Update on Reynolds, he's 9th, so despite that problem at the start, he's still on for a couple of points at the moment, and could obviously make up a few more places as well, because he's got all the race to make up and no damage or anything to worry about, so could see a good haul of points there. As well, we talked about this in Tier 2, this battle for 4th, XRL, TSRL, RGL, the F1 League, so close in the championship, and this kind of event with people not really race and points up for grabs could be a real opportunity, couldn't it, for these smaller teams to score big points.
Yeah, certainly, like we said, once again, you know, obviously so far this season it's all been about sort of AOR, STS, you know, SRL near enough always consistently running behind them, and obviously we've had a couple of sort of, and then a few more teams sort of been really trying to fight, you know, generally for sort of P7 and down almost, if you will. Obviously you had AOR and STS right at the top, and SRL just a tiny bit back from the pair of them. So I think, obviously, as we've said, you know, races like this, like we saw last week for EVR Reynolds and EVR All-Rounder, they can just bring home so many big points, obviously, if they just keep it clean, and ultimately, to a degree, as long as they actually just get to the finish line, because, as we've seen, people are just, unfortunately, obviously, with Langman making a mistake and Trumpa dropping it, it just appears that people, obviously, they only sort of see what's happening right now, they don't continue with it, which is a little bit frustrating, and it's, obviously, you never know.
Driver and Trumpa and an RGL driver in Langman. Even more important for Langman, because RGL only have one driver here. They don't have all-rounder. So, yeah, they've only got one driver. He's out. So RGL not in a good position now. They've kind of left themselves vulnerable to lose out big time here. Thankfully for TSRL, they've still got Simon running, who's in a good battle with Leopard at the moment. Leopard goes around the outside. Is he going to be able to make that stick? No, he's not. Simon keeps the inside line nicely and keeps that pace position for the moment. So, yeah, thankfully for TSL, they've still got that guy running. Good chance for the F1 League 2 cars running inside the points. And XRL as well, they've got cars running in 7th and 11th. So I'll keep you updated on that. And if at any point I get the opportunity, I'll try and look at the standings to see how close it is and how that might affect things.
Yeah, certainly will be. There just doesn't seem to be many particularly close battles. I think, as we said, Simon and Leopard, the 2 closest cars. Apart from that, I think we've got Midget and Reynolds, and then a second of each other. Leopard, I think that's a disconnect. I'd be surprised if he's just given up, because 6th place is very, very good, but I'm sure, unless he can get back in here very, very quickly, he might lose out on a couple more places there, which is, that's if he can get back in, but that would be quite a shame for him to throw away so many points.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. That might turn into reality for all we know. His teammate now, Reynolds, all over the back of Midget here, but he could make one position up here, and then when he may lose to Reynolds there, completely slice that final corner. I don't know if Reynolds just turned it too early there, or I just didn't really know where the final corner was. But yeah, that's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty, which could really, really cost him towards the end of this race. That moves Jork though, up into P6 in that Red Bull car, and that might be really, really big points for him. Interestingly though, one thing I will say, Cyril Hamilton, he's obviously the top 4, as we said, all on our Ultra Softs. He's not.
No, he's not, is it? Obviously, there's. I think the Ultra's maybe struggling already. It's we did see people coming around this kind of time in Tier 2. Obviously, they've done qualifying as well. But those Super Softs working nicely. Unfortunately, I'd love to. I can't actually invite Leopard. It's because it's on invite only. So only only the host can invite them, which is a shame. I think Leopard might struggle to get back in there, which is that could mean that we've lost another car. It certainly
I doubt Matiz is gonna try and. I tried to as well. I doubt Matiz is gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna get Force India in, and I might lose the race.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
I think there's a bit more than just points on the stake here. I think there's a bit of pride between Finn and Matiz as well in these races. Now we've got to that point.
Absolutely.
You know, we've seen some interesting different sides to these 2 drivers so far this series, and I know they're very good friends off the circuit, but on the circuit, well, different story. Let's hope they can keep it clean.
Yeah, they've certainly tested their off-track relationship, I think. And hang on, I've got a message. Let me just check this. What's this about?
Just read your private DMs out to everyone.
Apparently, I've got a problem with my mic.
You seem absolutely fine for me.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure what's going on.
I'm not hearing anything weird, but I'll try it anyway. I've been told to, so I'll do it.
I don't know if you can still hear me on the stream though, but Finn is still hovering around the 1.5 second mark at this stage of the race. Feisty Ted is another 3.5 seconds back. Cyril Hamilton, well, Simon is breathing down his neck now. The gap visually appears to be closer. It's still hovering just around that 1 second mark there. Reynolds has now moved past Midget. Unfortunately, we did miss that one. So Reynolds, he's up into, so he's halved his way halfway back through this field so far, and that's obviously been really, really good for him. Amazement is up into P9 there, so he's now doubled his points all. Nearly runs it into the wall there. That was very, very close from him. Monkeyface plays in, is still in P10. Well, Leopard, he still isn't here. That moves, well, just as I say, that Sturm takes P11 there. So unless Leopard can make it back in, it appears that it'll only be one driver not scoring points tonight, which it may be a little bit sad for that one driver, but obviously for everyone else, it's a big opportunity now. And well, if we see people quit now, I'll really sort of question their motives in this league.
Yeah, I think there's no excuses now. You really, this is a bit harsh. You're kind of letting down your league and not really putting in all you can if you're not getting to the finish now. But yeah, that's such a shame for Leopard. I feel really bad for him, running in a good position, and he's done nothing wrong, unfortunately. Finn is in. Where is he? Amazement, isn't he? Ooh, that hasn't worked. He's trying to get the undercut, is Finn, but he's gonna have traffic, I think, here, because he's pretty close behind the Amazement. So that should give RG Matiz the kind of pace advantage that he needs, or not losing out too much. I don't think that's quite worked out for the Finn. Yeah,
it's been an interesting one from him. He's, I don't think that's worked out particularly well for him, unless he can jump in amazement very, very quickly there. But RG Matiz, yeah, that's interesting. I'm surprised Finn's done that, really. I won't lie. That seems a bit of an odd one. I don't know if he just mistimed it ever so slightly. Maybe there was a glitch in the timing system there. But yeah, he's come out right behind the Red Bull car here, and I can't imagine amazement. He's not usually one. He sort of just fights the positions he needs to. So it'll be interesting to see what he does about this.
Yeah, and he's still unable to get through. So that's. Is the I'm just saying, is the audio all right? Because I'm putting that in the chat. Is the audio sorted itself out now since I've changed my mic? But Finn, yeah, really struggling now. He's into the state. No, oh, you've done it. Yeah, I've done the same thing as you. Grandstand section.
I've jinxed you.
And yeah, and that's obviously a really tough place to pass. And now he's got to follow the amazement through the final few corners as well. The amazement comes into the pit lane though. That's a pretty early stop for a super soft runner, but that does free up Finn. Matiz has stayed out for another lap, so Finn does have an opportunity now, but obviously he's lost out on a potential lap of gaining time, which is a shame for him. And the amazement
he dropped a second from Matiz that lap. Well, there's amazement going for the two stop then. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Around here, he moves down into P11. I think Leopard, his chances of getting back into this race are all but over now. So, interestingly enough, with Leopard before, not even in leagues I've raced with him elsewhere. So that's quite a surprise. I won't lie, to see him gone, but unfortunate. But obviously, he was doing well in this race, but I don't think it's the most not to be rude to him, but I think there's more at the top track battles that are still going on in this race. Flying Finn. He's now really pushed. He's taken a couple of tenths out of Matiz so far this lap, but he's still overall, since pitting. If Matiz were to pit now and the gap stayed exactly the same, then well he'd have about a 2.5 second lead.
Yeah, and if Matiz, let's have a look. I think he's staying out again. Let's see. He is. I think Matiz is going to try and go onto the super soft tyres, which would. He's definitely close enough to the end of the race now to go super softs to the end. If he's able to keep track position and be on the super soft tyres, that's really just Finn out of the game then, isn't it?
Do we stay out of the game? Do we think that's all it can take?
Well, yeah. I mean, in terms of
they get caught
pace,
up behind someone.
Obviously, a mistake could happen.
Yeah, but we saw this at Hungary, though, didn't we? He was still able to keep up on that harder compounded tyres, and well, we know what happened at Hungary. Unfortunately, I don't think really you can discount anyone here. Hamilton is coming out a bit further back than I thought he would have. He's going to stay out ahead of Sturm, though. So he's still going to be in the points there, but a lot further away from the Flying Finn than I thought he would be. He must have had something else go on there.
Yeah, he must have had a wing change.
15 seconds back. Yeah, we must have missed that one, unless it just wasn't showing up that he had damage all race long. Oh, Feisty Ted! What's happened to him? He's just come through the Singapore sling, and while I found him sideways, that certainly is the right way to be pointing your Ferrari, but no idea what's happened to him there. Unless the back end's just sort of lost a bit of grip, but yeah, that's an odd place to make an error. And well, he's lost a good chunk of time to RG Matiz there, so Feisty Ted with a little bit of a mistake. This is the night is really starting to pay a toll on these drivers, perhaps.
Yeah, he's thankfully managed to avoid damage, though, just which is really crucial for him. I imagine that we'll see him into the pits pretty soon. Where is Matiz? He's staying out again. Well, this is brave. He is now only 24.3 seconds out of Finn. I think Finn might get track position now, so Matiz being very brave, not afraid to let Finn have an open run at him, but Feisty Ted does come in. So obviously that little bit of a mistake is enough for him to be persuaded to pit. He will go onto the super soft tyres, and he's going to be a long way behind Finn now due to that mistake. Will he be?
He's probably going to come out ahead around Hamilton. I think it'll be close actually between the pair of them. Hamilton's just coming into the final couple of corners. Comes down over the start-finish line now. I think if the Haas ahead of Monkey Face Place can get out ahead, yes he does. Actually, Hamilton's a huge bucket's worth of time there, but it appears that, well, Feisty Ted's lost two. So, the Mercedes is gifted that position from the Ferrari there, so that's quite interesting to see. That's opened up, well, what would have been the battle for P3, but I think, well, Simon might get the jump on the pair of them.
Yeah, and I've had that cleared up. Thank you to AVR Jake in the chat. Hamilton had a 5-second stop go, and that's why he's lost out. I saw that in the corner of my eye, but I just forgot to comment about it. But yeah, Hamilton is now. Oh no! Oh, something's happened there. That was lag, I think.
He's dropped it where Feisty Ted did 1 lap ago. Maybe the Singapore's thing is even more lethal than we thought now.
Yeah, from my view, that looked like Hamilton lagged into Monkey Face Place. Looked like me. But Hamilton doesn't appear to have got any damage, and he's gained the position, so it's worked out alright for him, but not in the way that you would expect. Matiz is in. I think he's going to lose the lead.
Punts.
But he is on
He's certainly, well, I'll be surprised if he doesn't. There is the flying Finn. He's going to jump Midget just as they spot Finn coming out of the pit lane. Yeah, he does move up now into, well, effectively the net lead of this Grand Prix, but, well, Matiz really has got about 5, 6, maybe 7 laps to try and do this before the pace on those tyres equals out, as we've got yellow flags. Where is
Reynolds.
that? Why is that? Who's binned it?
Reynolds
as... Yeah, that's... This is odd. We're seeing crashes at places we never expect.
Yeah, I certainly didn't expect that. That is really bad for the F1 League. Obviously, we lost Leopard through the disconnection, and now Reynolds is going to struggle to get big points. Should still get 1 or 2. Ooh, 5-second stop go for ignoring yellow flags. Oh, so that's probably wrong, knowing this game. So he'll probably be able to, unless he has to.
That's an interesting one. Midget picks up a 3-second time penalty as well, but yeah, if that is wrong, then
It usually is, isn't
then
it?
yeah, it probably I wouldn't honestly. I listened to the yellow flags on this game. I wouldn't know, except for an hour last week where I got disqualified.
Oh
We won't talk about that.
Oh dear. Yeah,
It was not a strong week.
Yeah, the yellow flags on this game, and all F1 games in the past, a little bit too literal with their no overtaking under yellow flags, despite the fact if there's a car off the track, pulled over, still no overtaking under yellow flags, I'm afraid. It takes it very literally, does the game. So I imagine, yes, that will be
Thou
removed.
shalt sit behind parked car.
Yes. Matiz has gained a big chunk of time already, hasn't he? What's that gap down to? It's
Certainly
1.8 seconds. Yeah, so maybe this has been a good call from Matiz, but it's very risky, isn't it? He's been very brave to lose the track position that he had. We've got a big pace on these tyres. It'll be crucial that he's able to pass Finn, and he's got to do it cleanly as well, which we've seen in the past is a bit of an issue. Finn is coming up to
Jork
Jork.
could play a big part. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I was just thinking. Jork, he could play a big role in this race. You know, maybe he wants to get those Red Bull sponsors some extra airtime. Maybe he just wants to give, I think it's XRL, isn't it? Some extra screen time as well. But he can play a big factor in this race. Obviously, we saw his teammate slowing down the flying Finn a bit. We could see Red Bull 2.0 in this race, which is probably the worst name to call something. But still, yeah, I think the flying Finn is all over the back of him, and well, RG Matiz is gaining leaps and bounds already. Visibly, that gap is closer as the flying Finn almost pushing that Red Bull through. What's Jork going to do here? Is he going to move out the way? I don't think he is here. So, well, clearly, they want the screen time here then from that Red Bull car, and he's probably going to have to sit behind. Oh, sorry, the flying Finn's going to have to sit behind this as they come pretty. Is now all over the back of him. We've got 16 laps left of this race. We're halfway there. Oh, that's Jork. No, that's a bit of lag. I thought he'd completely ran wide.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Matiz wanted, basically. It's ideal for him, because it really means that losing all that time at the pit stops hasn't really affected him. Gives him more time to make the overtake. Jork pulls out the way quite severely. He's really pulled over there. That was.
And if you're gonna do it, you better do it properly.
Yeah, that was almost like blue flag kind of thing. But Matiz has now got to run if he can get a good exit, because he's got the DRS and he's literally pushing Finn through there. And let's go on board. You would imagine that Matiz is at least going to have a go, but will he be able to get it done? Finn covers off the inside, Matiz goes to the outside. He's going to have to be brave to make it stick here. He goes around the outside. Ooh, not really going to work there. Finn covered off 3 levels yet, but the start of a possible
15 laps to
battle.
go.
Yes, plenty of time for things to spice up more than that, but that is a first insight. Finn, obviously, well, we wouldn't expect anything less, would be fighting really hard to keep that position 1. If he loses the position, it's going to be a real uphill battle from there, so really important that he keeps track position 4 as long as possible. He obviously will aim to keep it right to the end.
Yeah, he certainly will. And yeah, as we just said, we're already halfway through this race so far. We could be shaping ourselves up for 15 of the best laps we may ever see in ULC in terms of on-track action between these two. We've seen them, well, as we've said, they've tested their friendship. But these last few races, maybe this could be, well, I do hope it's not the final nail in the coffin for them, but potentially this could escalate it to all new levels here as they come through the final corner. RG Matiz, I presume, well, I'd be massively shocked if he didn't have the DRS. That certainly looks like less than a second in my eyes. They're weaving this way and that, showing, the flying fin. I'm going for this, mate. You're going to try all you can, but I'm going for this. And, well, I just hope the most important thing is they both make it to the end and they're both fighting, ideally, by lap 31, because, well, what a spectacle that would be. But now, back straight, RG Matiz and the Flying Fin still very, very close. It doesn't appear that we've got any sort of slipstream glitch so far here, which is really, really good to see. Finn goes to the inside. Oh, there's contact almost immediately there. Same where we've obviously seen Hamilton in the past. Is RG Matiz going to keep it down the inside there side by side once again? Flying Fin holds on to it for now, but this is spicing up. I think we're going to see Hungary 2.0 here.
Yeah, I think we are, and yeah, definitely almost a repeat of last lap, but Matiz was just a little bit later on the brakes, wasn't he? He's able to get in front of Finn, but obviously then round the outside. Because Matiz was round the outside, Finn was able to gain that position back. Obviously, they've got a big gap behind. Around here, if you push someone off the track, you're pushing them into a wall, pretty much. Apart from a few corners where there's a runoff, that one is one of them. But yeah, if they get too aggressive with each other, it's not going to be like Hungary where one of them goes off the road and they have a bit of an argument about it after. It'll be someone goes into the wall if it's at a lot of these corners.
Oh, that was close.
He almost put himself in the wall. Good save. I think he recognised that early, didn't he? Gave himself enough time to back out.
It looked, I don't know if it was a tiny bit of lag there, but it almost looked like the Flying Fin broke a lot earlier than Matiz was expecting, almost caught him off guard there. But that gap's back up to a second now. And I think really at this point, obviously if this battle keeps going on, as we've got Jork just behind actually in the pits there. Midget up into the podium positions. That's, I think, maybe the first and last time we'll say that for BPRL this season. But yeah, still very, very close between these two. And, well, I reckon if this battle keeps carrying on, we could sell some tickets for people to get into the podium interviews.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
We've had some very interesting podium interviews. And, yeah, I'm sure we'll have another one today. Jork is coming out in 8th. We're just looking at him now. Obviously, his teammate, the Amazement, is in front, but he's going to have to pit again, isn't he? Because he pitted early on the Supersofts to go on to Ultras. So it'd be interesting to see what he can do. I think he'll probably be able to take 8th. So it's looking like XRL will pick up, at the moment, they look set to pick up 10 points, which is good for them in maintaining 4th position. The F1 League aren't going to gain as much as it looked like early in the race due to Reynolds and Leopard Run troubles. RGL, nothing. And TSRL, thanks to Simon at the moment, looking for a good haul of points. So, looks like TSRL and XRL in that battle for 4th are going to be the teams gaining the most today. And BPRL Midget should be on for a good result. 10 seconds off the lead. Once he made his stop, actually, he's going to be around that 7th or 8th battle as well, which obviously will become 6th or 7th if he drops him behind.
Well, we've got to remember, Amazement is probably going to be pitting again, so...
Yeah, he'll be
not
down
that
in,
obviously
like,
it's all
9th.
over, but I think we might discount him from that battle to a degree.
Yeah, it'll be all
Gap
about
at the front though,
whether he can
as
beat
Finn's going
Reynolds.
defensive into T1. Sorry to sort of cut over you there. But yeah, it's heated up once again. It's sort of simmered down for about a lap. And well, it's back up to boiling point here. Once again, are we going to see for the 3rd time in 4 laps, the Flying Finn and RG Matiz going side by side there. Finn waxed that wall on my screen as they came out onto this back straight. He goes defensive once more. Matiz to the outside once again. Is they going to make contact?
Oh.
Finn no room given there. This is, well, Matiz is going to keep it up the inside once more here. We are going to see more and more battling coming from these two. A fantastic aerial shot, contact made once again there. As I thought that was RJ Matiz picking up a penalty, but that's weaving around in frustration there. They both are doing it once more. How long will this go on? Grand Prix? We're halfway there, lads. Come on, we've got to keep it clean for at least another good sort of 7-8 laps at least. We get right towards the dying stages of this Grand Prix, but potentially if these battles carry on, well, we've got Cyril Hamilton, Feisty Ted and ESR Simon all very close behind. This isn't the only battle on track, we've got to remember. We've got these three different teams all fighting over third place.
Yeah, and oh, Matiz has got a penalty. That's not good.
I shall check race director, see who's on what.
Finn. Yeah, Matiz has just
Finn is on one warning.
Oh, so that's looking good for him then.
Matiz is on a penalty.
Yeah, he's just picked it up. So Matiz will, well, he's going to have to get through pretty soon if Finn doesn't pick up a penalty. And he's going to be having another go this lap. But he knows that door round the outside at the end of the back straight, which is a curve, and he knows that the door's going to be closed there. So I think he's got to try something different, personally. Tried it 3 times and it hasn't worked thus far. He's going to have another go now, but what's he going to do? Is he going to try the inside? Possibly no, because Finn covers that off brilliantly.
No chance.
Going around the outside again.
Oh,
contact again. It's like deja vu.
Are we just going to see this another 11 times? Are we just going to see this 11 more times between now and the end? Surely they can't keep doing this to each other.
We're going to see more weaving.
No, just not this time. I think, well, Matiz is just
Hamilton.
deciding, no, this is live now. What? Oh, yeah, this is heating up, isn't it? Just behind. Oh, they're 2 wide, Feisty Ted and Simon there. Almost 3 wide, actually, as they came out in towards the Singapore Sling. And, well, Hamilton, he's going to be soaking up the pressure here like an absolute sponge as they come now down through in towards this final sector of the lap, breaking down at the hairpin there. Very, very important. Simon sticks his nose at the inside of Feisty Ted here, and I know both of these two with drivers across so far this season, so it'll be interesting to see, obviously, how they are around each other as well. They're Feisty Ted kicking out that back end through that next corner there. But yeah, we've got battles absolutely everywhere at the moment. This would be the perfect moment for split point of views. But unfortunately...
We've got a few people in the chat talking about this battle at the front, and yeah, we've got Limitless saying that Matiz needs to stop going around the outside, which yeah, I certainly agree with that. He's got to try something different, and yes, Finn is covering off that inside really well, but maybe, just maybe, if he tries to dummy him, could give it a go. We saw that in Tier 2, it didn't really work, ended up with someone crashing. But
well, that's what I was going to say.
I think
all I see there is 2 cars in a wall.
Yeah, he's got to. I think he's got to try if he wants to win. It might be a bit of a gamble. Personally, I think it's worth trying something different. And then we've got STF1 Alonso as well, saying that Sally will not get a penalty. Yeah, and I tend to agree with that. At the moment, he's obviously got 1 warning in the first 20 laps. So, yeah, that's looking good.
Close again here, Feisty Ted. Forcing Hamilton to go a bit defensive through these couple of corners. But I think, yeah, you sort of get to this point where you've really only got sort of 2-3 overtaking places around this circuit. Unless the car ahead obviously makes the mistake, and this is obviously for Matiz, for Ted, for Simon at the moment. This is the frustrating thing with the street circuit, and obviously the only real thing they could do, muscle their way past or force the car in front into an error. And well, obviously all these guys are so good that forcing errors is much easier said than done, I feel.
Yeah, that's definitely a correct statement. So yeah, he's got to muscle it through. And we've seen a few people trying it, but it hasn't really worked. We haven't seen many successful overtakes so far in this race. As we're seeing evidence of this further down the pack, EVR Reynolds in 7th having a ding-dong battle with Midget. And despite Midget being on fresh ultra-soft tyres, he's really struggling to get past Reynolds on the soft compound tyres. So just goes to show how gap at the front ending a little bit, 9/10. And now it's gone straight back down.
It sort of goes up and down.
Yeah,
I find Flying Finn seems to be really strong through that final sector. So maybe Matiz is running a bit higher wings, for all we know. Because obviously he does gain a huge amount down this back straight here. But yeah, Flying Finn now, he seems to almost put the afterburners on at this stage, because we obviously said we were expecting, potentially another 11 laps of Matiz trying to go around the outside, but maybe the Flying Finn is able to control that gap at the moment. And well, obviously with no penalties to Matiz's 1, obviously I don't want to cut this race short just yet because we've got 9 laps to go and anything can happen here. But I think, well, it looks like the Flying Finn, whether he's ahead or behind in these next few laps, I feel he's the one in control.
Yeah, it's looking good for him as well because Matiz, every lap that he's behind, he's losing. Oh, I've just knocked off my keyboard.
Throw your controller across the room, why don't you?
He's. I think nothing's broken. It's fine. Yeah, he's obviously run and create that gap, and also losing the tyres every lap. Those tyres are getting worse and worse, and that's playing into the Flying Finn's hands. This battle for P3 is really hotting up. Ted having a look at Hamilton, and that's badly affecting Simon.
Oh, Matiz, he's had a huge one. He's broken his front wing there. Sorry to cut over you. Matiz, that is, well, I guess, yeah, he's pitting. That is a critical error from him. I don't know if he just clipped that sort of odd textured curb on towards that final chicane there, but, well, he spat the car sideways. He's hit the wall and he's dived it straight to the pits there. He's going to come out, what, probably around Jork. Probably behind Jork here, and well, this could be a complete turning point in this season. I was just watching and thinking Matiz was just looking so ragged.
Oh, and he's got to serve his penalty now as well. The 5-second penalty that would have been removed, he's got to serve. Oh.
This is, well, rip Matiz, I think, tonight. I could see a different podium sitter tonight. I don't think we've seen ESL Simon on the podium. I think I can't recall. I think we may have seen Feisty Ted, but I can't remember. So it would be nice to talk to some different faces, albeit it's always good fun to talk to the typical 4 at the front. But yeah, obviously it's nice to speak to new people as well.
But I think Simon at the moment, he's really struggling to get through it. Oh, it's even got even worse.
Matiz,
oh my god, he's retired.
No, he's binned it. Oh my!
Has he done that on purpose?
Matiz, I'd be surprised, but on the other hand, I wouldn't almost, in an odd way. I doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we can really.
He obviously wants
put
to
too
win
much to blame at the moment.
And the frustration sometimes does boil over. I don't know what I don't know. He might have crashed.
He's
himself.
had enough. Yep.
No, he has had enough. I think that was probably intentional. Obviously thinking I'm only going to get 10 points at most. Can't be bothered with it.
Yeah, but that's 10 points.
Yeah.
That was me in this. And obviously, I know. Still 10 points. That's a lot, really.
Yeah.
Let's be fair. I could do with 10 points here and there quite happily.
I'll have to see, but my personal feeling, I think it is on purpose. I can't see him making a mistake like that because it seemed like quite a big mistake to make, losing a wheel at that corner.
It seems very early on in the corner as well, almost. So I don't know, unless there was. I think the only thing we can really sort of pin that down to is unless he came out behind someone and there was a bit of lag or something. Yeah, I think honestly, I don't want to PK this, but I think potentially it was an intentional one.
Where's
but I don't think we can't say too much from that. Yeah, bring it out now. And
well, it's not advantaging his teammate,
non-existent teammate.
He hasn't got one. So yeah, that argument falls flat. But yeah, this battle now
we can believe
for the
in
podium.
Our conspiracy.
Yeah. This battle for the podium, 2 of them rather than 1 is going to get the reward of sitting on the podium, as long as there's no incidents. At the moment, Simon really struggling to get through, but he's definitely got the pace on those ultra soft tyres. He's just unable to get through because of the DRS that Ted's getting on Hamilton. So at the moment, actually, sorry, this makes it an STSF 1-1-2 at the moment, doesn't it? Hamilton doing a fantastic job.
I think this would be the first time since Australia we could see that happen as well. So that could be a bit interesting, but he's not home and dry just yet. He's well, I wouldn't have thought he's dry at the moment. He's probably sweating like hell.
Yeah, he's
trying
got
to keep these 2 behind him as well.
He's got a lot of work to do. It's not going to be an easy 1-2, is it?
Right behind him.
This is far from Mercedes domination.
I'll have a look at podiums. I'll have a look at penalties. See what they're all on. He's on 1 penalty, and well, he obviously served his stop go. And so he's got 1 penalty. I think we've got Feisty Ted on 2 penalties and a warning, and Simon on 2 penalties.
Oh,
and
Hamilton's just got a penalty, and Simon has gone on Ted. So Hamilton's just picked up a penalty, and now things are really kicking off behind him. Simon.
Hamilton, run!
Yeah, this is his chance, isn't it? This is his chance to get away. And Simon has got a really good run on Ted now. Feisty has just still got DRS, and that is able to keep him in front. That was Simon's real golden opportunity, but he couldn't quite take it. And Ted remains in P3. So what were the warnings looking like for Ted and Simon, sorry?
They're all now equal, all three of them.
All have
They've
a
all
pen,
got two
okay.
pens.
Oh, that's good to
All
see. I
two
like
pens,
it when
yeah.
it's just down to who wins it on track. That's good. So we don't have to worry about that unless any more pop up, which is good to see because it's certainly a very interesting battle at the moment, and one that has taken a while to heat up with the drivers kind of holding position for a while, but now I think they really are going for it. Simon's got a good run again on Ted here, and could have a go down the inside into the braking zone. He has a look, but he doesn't quite go for it. Ted was late enough on the brakes. Good defensive driving from him. Reynolds is still P6. He's holding off Beeper on Midget fantastically here. Midget's on ultra soft tyres, and Reynolds is staying ahead. That's a really good job. I'm shocked, really. It's fantastic driving.
Yeah, he's doing well this race, but yeah, trying to look Jork. I think I can't remember. Does he need to pit again? That was the amazement that needed to pit again, wasn't it?
No, Jork's good to the end. Yeah, the amazement is obviously going to be in that battle for P6 as well. Oh, they've picked up 2 more penalties.
How many
Ted's
pens
got
does
one.
Jork have? I'm
Probably
just thinking,
none.
could Jork sneak them all?
Yeah, you know what as well?
He's got 5 warning. Sorry, he has got 3-second time penalty. If
he's
he
got
could
one,
just get
okay.
behind him, he could sneak them all in. That would be the ultimate. Well, I can't even
Steal.
words, which is probably not ideal. Yeah, the ultimate steal. There we are. That's a simple. Oh, contact. Feisty Ted, they're losing a bit of front wing to Hamilton. So yeah, for Jork, all he needs to do is sit behind these guys, and well, he could find himself in 2nd place in this race. And what a turnaround that would be for Red Bull.
Yeah, that would be
a
even more
fantastic
crucial
result.
for XRL. Yeah.
That
But yeah,
would
I
be
think
huge.
with Jork as well, he's got that 3-second time penalty. He's usually really good on corner cutting, so I don't expect him to get another one. So as long as he's within 3, I can't see him getting another one personally. So that's looking good for him at the moment if these guys continue to fight.
Interestingly enough, that 3-second time penalty, he didn't get a single warning beforehand. So I don't know, well, how badly. He must have either straight lined a corner or something to pick up a 3-second time penalty in its own right. But I'm unsure what corners he could really try and straight line either. So yeah, but that's still for him. It automatically means that, well, effectively on the road he's ahead of Simon already. There is Simon. Well, he attacks that curve just like Matthias did. Oh, he's all over the shop. He's lost out the other half.
What on earth was that?
Well, he to pit and well, he was committed to the inside as well. That we could have seen both of them in the wall there, and well, Jork. We could have seen Reynolds on the podium as well at that moment. He'll come out ahead of Feisty Ted, and Jork. Well, this could be bad for Jork because Hamilton, he could run away from this.
Yeah,
potentially Simon and Hamilton could run away. Jork's pace now be the thing that keeps him in this.
Yeah, he's got the 3. He's just about 3 seconds now on Simon, but that battling that Ted and Simon were doing, that were holding them up, is now stopping. So yeah, that's going to be pretty tight. But as you said, Jork might be able to get that 3-second time penalty removed if it was the first warning he got, which seems very odd. Ted has come out in 8th. He's close to the amazement, and they're both going to be continuing to close down on Reynolds. I'm so shocked that he's still in P5, and he's actually pulling away from Midget as well. So he's really got some pace on those soft tyres, but he has a penalty as well, so that might, again, one of the penalties, unfortunately, really make it hard to judge sometimes when it's close. But yeah,
I've just been on board with Midget, and he's on the raggedy edge on that pad.
Well, he's got
I know
a bit
he felt
of
strong
damage as
coming
well,
into this race. Yeah, I've only just noticed that as well. So he's clearly, that's probably why he's struggling. Feisty's head now has moved past the amazement as well, so maybe he's just planning on being dragged back up to a Midget there. But this could still be a big haul of points for him. Sturm, obviously, that means he's up onto the points as well. So could we see Beeperell's first double points solo of the season? Well, mathematically, yes, we're going to. Well, unless he doesn't make it to lap 29. I think it's a 90% rule, like we see generally, which means obviously he only needs to make it to the end of this lap here. And well, he's AI mode at the moment, so potentially he's just making sure of it. Whether that's legitimately making sure or not is a different question.
Playing it safe, isn't it? Yeah. Ted has passed the amazement, so he's up into 7th. looking Reynolds now in keeping that P5. That's a mighty effort after his problems. I can't really get over that. I should probably stop talking about that. Let's go to the chat. Seen a few people. We've got how many penalties does Hamilton have? Luke Julian's asking that. He has 1.
6, I think. 6 seconds worth, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
He's picked up. He's got 6 seconds
Sorry,
worth.
I thought he only had
picked
1.
up his.
Yeah, he's got 6.
Yeah, they all did have 6. I think Simon's now up to 9. Yeah, he is.
9. Oh.
So, well,
More than I
Hamilton doesn't
thought.
need to defend this on the road.
Okay, so this is it was looking very good for Jork then. That's sorry, I thought it was 3 and 6, but it's 6 and 9. Then we got a few people asking about what happened to Matiz. We had an incident where he hit the wall, got a bit of damage, pitted, and then went into the wall again and ended his race. We're not sure whether it was on
Brakes
purpose or
failed.
just a mistake. Yeah. Ted is right behind Midget now in the battle for 6th position. This is pretty crucial. Ted should surpass Midget, but Midget's going to give it a fight. BPRL need all the points they can get, so he's going to fight for everything. Oh no, hang on, he's not. He's not really defended that very much. Actually, Ted is through. So Ted, despite that mistake, is still going to be on to pick up P5 here. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to close that gap on Reynolds. Although, again, penalties. It confuses everything, doesn't it?
Well, it's good news for everyone that's, well, survived this far into the race. Unless they get disqualified now, they're all scoring points, which is probably nice for just about everyone. It's a case of how many points they're going to be scoring, though. Ted goes the fastest lap of the day.
Unsurprisingly, 39
Sneaking
points.
into those 39s.
And flying
We've
fin.
still got Simon and Hamilton all over the back of each other. So let's not go on board with the other mistakes. Let's go on board with the one that's fighting.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about how Finn's just really cruising it now and still doing a really good job. But yeah, this battle for the 2nd place is really hotting up. Again, that's going to help Jork even more. We think that Jork is going to jump them on penalties anyway, but if they fight and hold each other up, that just means that Jork will definitely have it. P2 is going to be a fantastic result for him, and he'll be really happy with that. And that will put XB1 into a comfortable P4 in the championship. They'll have that pretty much wrapped up with only 3 rounds after today. Oh, well, Simon, what are you doing? Simon's just literally
He's making his own version of Singapore.
That's not like a minor infringement. That was just, I'm making my own circuit here.
That's
and he's
like
picked
watching
up
me try and
rightful
race
penalty.
Mexico in AOR.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that one seems just about fair.
I didn't watch the race, but I saw a few screenshots and I thought,
oh, Simon!
Oy,
I'm
oy,
gonna have
oy.
to cut over you there, not to only hide my own embarrassment, but also talk about Simon as he completely drops it. He's going to keep it down the inside of Jork, though. Jork swings it around the outside. Simon, man, why are you doing this? You've already lost it all. He's doing this for pride now, I feel. Is he? No, he's not going to try and go for a switch back there. That would have been absolute carnage. But yeah, Simon drops now down to P4, as that's really helped Hamilton out. But I think Jork, as long as he doesn't lose another second, and as long as Simon doesn't keep fighting or making his own track up, then, well, I think we could see Jork still hold on that P2 here, but he needs to try and get Simon a little bit out of that, well, trimming range, I think is the right way to describe it for Simon at this stage.
I don't really see what Simon's got to gain by fighting this. He's got with the 5-second penalty, he's now got 14 seconds worth of time penalty, hasn't he? So he should really just stay in P4. He's got a big gap behind.
He's holding on to P4 anyway,
yeah.
Unless he bins it, which he got very close to there.
But yeah, I'm surprised he's really battling with Jork. He's got to know that Jork isn't going to have the same amount of penalties as him, because he's got a lot. But yeah, that has given Cyril Hamilton completing this 1-2 for STS, but it's still going to be tough work with 1 lap to go now. 1 lap and a little bit for these guys who are a little bit further back. Feisty Ted is up into 5th position. That's unsurprising. But Reynolds is still on to pick up a good P6. So the F1 League haven't done too badly out of this then. I thought that they kind of were heading for a bit of a disaster when Reynolds hit the wall, but he's managed to recover well. BPRL Midget, 6 points at the moment for BPRL.
Oh, Simon's binned it again!
Oh,
Lord, what's going on for him? He's dropped it at the final corner again, I don't know.
Red flag, surely he's broken the barrier. The barrier's off. The barrier's not even
Simon,
together.
he's creating his own circuit. He's moving the tiles to where he feels like. He's just turning Singapore into his own play area at this rate. I don't know what he's attempting to do, but he's gonna finish P8, P9 at this rate, and he had Piva in the bag less than a lap ago. What is going on for the Williams? Final lap of the race. Wait,
It's fantastic. Turning it into his own play area, that's fantastic. Yeah, I don't even know where he's going to finish now. Obviously, he's going to be really slow to the end.
oh,
He's left the
he's
session.
not going to be finishing.
See, why TSRL need the points? Why isn't he going to the finish?
What
It really
a
annoys
timely
me.
disconnect.
Yeah, that's such a shame.
I'll try and get him back in.
He's still had a disaster, but he's obviously just rage quit, and that's going to cost them points. Feisty Ted will move up into 4th. Although Feisty Ted did pick up another penalty, so he might be quite close with Reynolds now, actually. I think Reynolds has only got 1 penalty, if I'm correct. But anyway, let's go back to the front, because we're almost at the end now. But interesting incident there for Simon. But the Flying Finn now comes round the final corner, and it is a victory for Flying Finn. And with Matiz DNFing, that is a fantastic race for him in the Drivers' Championship. He's got one hand on the trophy now, and we're just waiting now to see whether SDS can complete a 1-2. It's not looking likely. Cyril Hamilton is going to cross the line in P2, but with the extra penalties, he is going to drop down behind Jork. Jork crosses the line, a fantastic P2 for him. And then it's going to be close, I think, between Ted and Reynolds. I think Reynolds has got one less time.
Reynolds has got a lot less penalties. He's got 2 less, actually. Ted's got 12, if I'm not mistaken.
So he's going to get 4th. What a recovery drive from him. I'm so shocked by that. Feisty Ted crosses the line 4th, but will go down into 5th. And BPRL Midget, because of Simon's coming together, he's looking like he's going to hold off the Amazement and take 8 points for BPRL. So great result there. He crosses the line. Oh no, penalties change it. Sorry, the Amazement goes up into 8th. Simon crosses the line in 8th. I'm not sure if he'll get that though, because I
don't think he'll get those points.
I think
I'd be surprised if he does.
If it's a genuine disconnect, I think that you're allowed it. But if he's just rage quitting, I think that that might change the opinion.
What a timely disconnect that would be.
Yeah, that was definitely a rage quit. You can't say that that's a disconnection. He can't argue that surely to the stewards. Monkey Face Plays is going to pick up 2 points for FR. BPRL Sturm is going to make it a double points finish for BPRL. Only the 10 finishers. But still a pretty interesting race. We saw a lot of action between those who did finish the race. And here he comes. BPRL picking up, it's going to be 7 points, taking their total up to 9. They're still going to be last, but a good result.
They've
for them.
tripled their points. So
there we go. What's an interesting race. And if you could invite the guys to the party, that'd be lovely.
I shall try to now.
And I'll just confirm
Good job we don't get
those
Simon
results.
in here after my comments.
Yeah, I think
yeah,
you might not be Simon's most popular commentator now, but
I might be off the Christmas card list.
It was a very good comment. I thought it was quite funny. A very good win for Finn. Then I need to work out what the gap was before this race. Obviously, he's gained 25 points today, going into this race anyway. But how is that going to change things? Give me a little bit of time. But anyway, the results then. Flying Finn as our winner. Jork, 94 in second. Cyril Hamilton completing double podium for STS. EVR Reynolds in 4th. Feisty Ted in 5th. The Amazement in 6th. BPRL Midget 7th. ESL Simon in 8th. Will he get 8th? We're not so sure. Monkey Face Plays in 9th. BPRL Sturm in 10th. And then everyone else was D and Fs with Leopard unfortunate disconnection going around as an AI for the whole race. And Langman, an early DNF, along with Trumper Rumper and, of course, RG Matiz. The gap was 10 points. Going into this race, it's now 35 points it's gone up to, with 3 rounds remaining. So, yes, I'm definitely right in saying that Finn has one hand.
He needs
on the
podiums
trophy.
between now and the end of the season. Yeah, and he's won it.
So,
no, he doesn't. That's poor maths. Wait, no. Yes, I can numbers gooder. He does only need podiums.
Shout out to... Okay. I just want to give it... I want to give a shout out as well to the people who didn't seize. Obviously, you were one, Finn, and the Amazement didn't pick up any penalties as well. That's quite impressive around here, so I'm going to give a shout out to those guys. Interesting race, and yes. Yeah, we'll get underway then. Who have we got? Have we got everyone? We do indeed. We've got everybody. Would you like to talk to the winner of this race then, Matt?
Yeah, I think we probably should. And obviously, I think for the first half of the race, he was we were at the start of that Grand Prix. Obviously, it almost looked like the strategy at the pit stops hadn't paid off for you, but you managed to claw it back, which I don't think any of us were really expecting. Just talk us through your race.
Yeah, first of all, congrats to Matiz on the pole lap. That was really tense at the end, and it was annoying to get jumped. But yeah, GG to him. And in the race, like honestly, I was enjoying the first stint. Like even though I was like 1.5 seconds behind, I was just enjoying the challenge of just like trying to get within him. And he was like keeping the gap the same, so that was a good challenge, and I knew I had to try something different. And yeah, I went into the pits, got the soft sun, and on my outlap, Amazement was in front of me, so I got a bit of traffic, and I thought if Matiz had pit that lap, he could have stayed ahead because I didn't really get an undercut. And then he didn't pit, he stayed out, and he won on the supers. And yeah, from there on, it's just trying to stay ahead. You know, once you have track position here, it's about staying ahead, and like best I can do is just hold the inside line and lead. And yeah, a few times Matiz like went around the outside, and like for me on my screen, he just turned in, so my car was like going sideways into him. But I know like from speaking with him, like after the race, like he during the race, he didn't actually like do that. So yeah, the game unfortunately doesn't allow us to race side by side, and I don't know how it looked on the stream, but I've got footage of showing like that I did nothing wrong. So this doesn't feel like a victory for me. It ruined the whole like race for me, and I'm just sorry for Matiz, to be honest.
Okay, and I'll move on to talk to our second place finisher then. Jork 94, first time on the podium this season. And obviously it was a little bit of a quiet race for you, wasn't it actually? We kind of, we didn't really realise that you were in podium contention until going into the kind of closing stages of the race when you started gaining on the guys in front of you. And would you like to talk us through how you that run towards the podium then?
Yeah, well, first off, qualifying, I actually was really surprisingly quick, and on the last lap I was 6/10 up on my original time, so I could have been in and around the top 4 if I'd have just not bottled the last sector, but because it's me, I bottled the last sector, obviously. And then in the race, yeah, I just kept out of trouble really, kept my nose clean. It was one of those races where if you just didn't make any mistakes, then you could end up, I wasn't expecting second, I'll be honest. I was sort of like 6th for a majority of the race. And then I knew my pace on supers was alright because I was sort of keeping with the guys in front who were on ultras. And I thought, yeah, come the end of the race, I might be able to bring it back at the end. And that's what I did. But I do feel sorry for Taylor, who I got a screen freeze and it cost me a couple of seconds, and as it came back, his car was inside mine, so he absolutely went flying into the wall. So okay, yeah. That's what happened. Yeah. When Finn was behind me before I pitted, Matiz said I was lagging really bad, so I just got out of the way. I didn't want to. I hope Finn didn't get damage off it, because Matiz said Finn might have got front wing damage. I don't know. I hope he didn't.
Yeah, really good.
That, I didn't really make any mistakes.
Yeah, really good drive, and obviously crucial points for XRL. So. A really good drive there, and yeah, Matt, do you want to talk to the? Do you want to talk to our third place super sub for STS?
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, a very, very good job for him. Obviously, able to bag that podium in the end. It was looking very, very tight for you. I think we were saying a huge amount of pressure towards the end of that race, but obviously, just talk through that one then for you, and obviously, congrats on the podium as well.
Thank you. Just want to say congrats to Finn on the win and Joke on the podium. But yeah, start off with quali. Got 4th. Didn't really expect it considering I'm not usually only a 10th off pole, which was pretty decent. Going in the race, the first thing was pretty much boring, I guess. I was just driving around until I had to make pit stuff, but managed to jump ahead and then after that he just closed me down, and I just felt like I had no pace, but somehow managed to stay ahead after a few argy-bargy moments, not gonna lie. But yeah, that was it really. Pretty unfair penalty I got, my second 3-second one, which might get removed. I don't know if it'll affect the results, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. But yeah, that was it really.
Okay then, so we've also got Matiz in the party to talk us through, of course, what was a big moment and possibly, we imagine, championship defining. So yeah, basically talk us through obviously the racing with Finn, and then that little incident where you went into the wall, and then the incident that put you out the race.
Yeah. Don't know where to start really. Yeah, I was really close behind Finn on the back straight every single time. Got beside him for the next corner, but I'm telling you right now, it's impossible to pass someone cleanly with this contact system. Because I had a couple of times where I was just side by side with him, and like Finn said that on his screen I turn in on him. But it's on my screen, I literally don't even turn my wheel, and I just got slammed like to the outside. And I don't know why I weaved, because I knew it wasn't Finn's fault. But I was just so pissed off. I've never been so pissed off. Like, this is the one league where I feel I can actually still win it. I actually kind of still want to do it, but that's all gone now as well. And then after that, see what happened after that. Oh yeah, I hit like in the last sector, I hit like a little bump on the left. It was either that or some lag. I don't know what it was, and couldn't even save it. So got a red wing off that. Was like up pit, see where I come out, and then remembered that I got a stop-go penalty for passing a car that had crashed.
Yeah.
So that's also fun. So I just couldn't be bothered. I don't know if you guys caught downstream, but yeah.
Yeah, we thought that might have been the case. We yeah, that was the speculation
Yeah, I just
going around.
I'm so done. It was so bad. I just couldn't do anything. I feel so fucking hopeless. Like I don't enjoy it anymore at all. I've been saying this for so long, but I'm so done now.
Mm. But unfortunately, as you said, you thought you had a chance to win this, but now unfortunately you do have that 35-point gap. 3 races to go.
Oh yeah, it's over.
And also with obviously you've been the sole AOR driver today, and STS picking up a big result. That means that STS are well on their way now with 3 rounds to go to pick up the league championship as well. So not looking like we're going to be having a battle going right to the end of the season in the championship, but of course these remaining rounds we hope are going to be as entertaining as they were today. Although unfortunately the contact system not giving the racing that we kind of wanted, we did see at least still plenty of action, and Tier 2 was a very interesting race as well. So plenty of reason to come back next week. I've no idea. PS4 might have already started actually about an hour ago.
They are starting now, I think.
Yeah. Oh, they're running a bit late because obviously we've been overrunning so much with Singapore being a long old race. So if you want to watch PS4, that's over on the ULC YouTube channel. But from the Xbox side, that's all from me. That's all from Matt.
Certainly is.
And yeah, we will see you next week. And I'm going to have to wrap my brains. Where we're going? Is it Japan?
Let's just say Japan with confidence. We'll see you at Japan.
I can find seconds. But yeah, obviously next week, and looking forward to some more good racing. And it is... Wait for it. Just when you want things to load quickly. Yeah, it's Japan. I was right. So we'll see you then. Goodbye.